No, I agree.
How does that sort of impact you? Like from venues to like distribution systems to media, like none of it really.
It's weird because emo pop is sort of the term that we've coined ourselves because we feel like it was the best way to say it. It fits for sure. But like, I don't know. I feel like when we were growing up, bands like Goodnight Nurse and 48 and they were like huge inspirations, and like the New Zealand emo scene.
New Zealand.
But for like live bands and like especially in the all agent scene in New Zealand, it's seriously lacking in a big way.
But we're just so lucky that we're in a digital generation that we can like easily export our music overseas. If this was like 10 years ago with
totally
and stuff, we'd be
I've talked to Jaden, who plays in Legend now but used to play in Goodnight Nurse, about this, and he was just saying
Whoa.
But he was like man, we had to like put up like flyers and shit on telephone poles and stuff, like even, and that was only in 2006, and that's not even that long ago in like the greater scheme of things. It's crazy how in the last decade how it's become so much easier to become outwardly focused.
Not a great tradition, and people might listen to us at first and go, oh, okay. Like,
I think C4 was a good cornerstone for that kind of music.
But they go like, what's this about? And then they see us live, and that's like a whole different. They're like, whoa, okay, yeah. I'm not sure where I was going with that, but when they see us,
it's hard for it's hard for people to understand like emo pop. That's not me, like you can just like automatically assume you won't like it, if you're not into just either of those things, which is fine, but like I feel like what you're trying to say is when people see us live, it's a lot different because then they're like, this isn't what I thought it was.
Especially
it's quite heavily produced music, so you can understand how imagining it in a live context might not necessarily.
So many people have been like, oh man, I didn't like you guys until we saw you live, and like, oh, you're actually good. I thought you were gonna suck.
And you're like, well, that kind of comes.
It's kind of an experiment with your friends, because our friends. Well, some of them listen to our shit, but like
that's fun,
since they're so supportive and they come anyway, and then they watch us play live, they like go, oh wow, okay, here we go.
Which is why I was super excited for tomorrow, because like that's where we've won so many people over who were kind of on the fence and they see us.
And there's a lot of our friends, well not a lot, some of our friends haven't seen us yet, and it's really excited for them to talk to them after and be like, what did you think?
Yeah.
Because they're all into like Travis Scott and
not as a way to the
but like not open sides type music. So it's going to be interesting for the live show to hopefully change.
How did you sort of transition from like kind of sort of classically
pop punk?
Sort of pop punk emo records from mid-late 2000s to this kind of very synth heavy,
as our
huge vocals kind of.
As our personal music taste developed, I think that's when, it just moves when we move, I guess, because when we started playing music, we were listening to All Time Low, like all those like pop punk bands, and then we started, I think our taste started developing, and then as that started developing, we got influenced by the new artists we listened to, and then put that into our writing.
And there was a lot of trial and error on the way. Like we went through some really
whack
shit phases of
never see the light of day.
Sending demos to our manager, who was like, "What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Come on, sort it out." And we finally got there.
But
he was very supportive.
It's pretty much as simple as that, though. As like as our personal taste changed, that's how the band shaped.
I think Pushback EP is the perfect example of our transition from pop punk. Because it was Pushback EP and then what we're doing now.
There was a lot of in between there. Pushback and now that it was kind of Pushback and Pushback and I Feel Nothing. In between there was a lot of weird stuff going on.
We tried this like kind of future bassy kind of thing, but I Feel Nothing was a big turning point in our band. We locked into a sound and we're like, okay, this is fresh and this is new and this is what
I Feel Nothing is a perfect fucking song.
Oh, thanks.
So incredible. That's the only reason I wanted to write the story, because I was like, aside from Lord, I hadn't had a New Zealand artist produce like a perfect pop single. Like
wow, thank you. That's very kind of you to say. Well, that's where we kind of were locked, and we're like, this feels good, and we feel we were a fan of that song from the outset. We were like, we can identify with this, and this is And
it feels like it contains like a sound world that you can do a lot with.
Yeah, definitely.
Totally.
It still has that
right?
that guitar-y, heavy guitar, still pop punk sort of drums, that element.
Yeah, and then we've branched down to songs like Character Flaws, which are way more electronic heavy, and songs like Waiting for Love, which are a little bit more rock influenced.
Yeah,
you know,
because exactly, like I Feel Nothing is the perfect way to set a boundary of where we can experiment between, instead of going like, all right, pushbacks here, but let's try this. You know, there's too broad of a spectrum there for us.
And in a lot of ways, we still go back to that song, compare like how does this stack up against this, and we always try and we're always trying to progress our sound and move forward. But like, you've got to be contextual about it, and you can't neglect the people who already like you in the way that they like you for what you are. You know, we're not about to go out and start rapping and stuff like we are going to try new things, but we're going to be
Possum's good at rapping as well.
Yeah. But but thanks for saying that.
No, it's a special song. Do you want to talk about, can you talk a bit about production and collaboration with either writers or producers, like how that sort of plays into it? Because obviously it's kind of quite a necessary thing with...
We're in quite a big friend group of, well, this is like just a more low-key thing, but we're in quite a big friend group with heaps of other New Zealand artists out there. And
like who?
We flat with Jake from LA Woman.
LA Woman, Sachi,
smile
T991454.
I don't know, you smiled like it's funny.
It is funny.
Like,
it's funny because he's a slob.
but like lots of different. That's off the record.
Off the record. He's like one of our like best friends as well.
Yeah.
Slob's neither a slob. It's good for him to be it out.
Oh, I've said it to his face. Like I think
he's fine.
Well, there's a big community there of people writing with each other. Plus, Possum has a lot of friends from. Possum went to university, like the pop school. A lot of friends there, and there's always. In New Zealand now, it's very easy to set up a session with another New Zealand artist. Like everyone's always so.
And then again, it's kind of hard. Like some people.
Oh,
some off the record.
Do you really want to talk about the shit that you've done?
But yeah, that developed.
Well, you want to go off the record for
No. Don't worry. Just briefly. It's just like.
Yeah, and I think.
I think like
I reckon
making
it's a Spotify thing.
Yeah.
Like you get like 1 million streams under your belt, and you suddenly think that you're the fucking hot shit.
Really?
Like,
yeah, definitely. It is but then you can have.
But that's like kind of arbitrary. Like if you just get junked into a playlist, you got a million
Exactly.
streams.
And streams don't sell tickets.
It's a very subtle thing.
And off the record.
I've never had anyone do it before. But then it's not. If you've got like a sort of a sliver of fan base that's very global.
Yeah.
I think everyone has to have their home stadium,
Yeah.
And if you can't develop that, then it's difficult to sort of monetize and unify your fans and so on.
But back to the question.
Yeah.
Writing with people is I think it took like the first time we properly collaborated with someone in a songwriting perspective, all of us, was I Feel Nothing. That was with Jace
and Josh.
from Leisure. No, that was just Jace.
Oh yeah, it was just Jace.
Yeah.
Josh produced with it, but and that kind of like opened our eyes to it's definitely over the past few years experiencing a lot of different people, different writers, opened up our eyes to. But I think at the end of the day, the people that we like working with the most is each other.
Yeah.
Because like we're the only people that really get each other. I mean, like there are people who get us. Like Josh Fountain is like amazing to work with.
Oh, Josh.
He's like. He's probably the fifth band member.
Yeah, he's been a cornerstone of our project since like way back. Like, he's been like executively producing our shit since like fucking 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah.
PJ and Possum were just over in LA, writing with people as well.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that? Because like, have you guys done song hubs or anything?
Possum's done song hubs, and they guest appeared at Song Hubs this year as well. Just a couple sessions there.
Yeah. Does that stuff help? That kind of.
I think so. Yeah, I think
getting out of the.
Yeah, it really. I think getting out of the studio, and like getting out of the studio. Call it Golden Age. Like getting out of the studio into like a wider world of songwriting. I think opens up a lot of. Actually, I think the first Song Hubs is where Possum really.
They changed
developed, developed as a songwriter.
With other people.
Yeah,
I remember Paul said like must be like 3 years ago now, but it's always quite stuck with us. And it's like a day writing songs is not a day wasted, whether you use the song or not. It's all just practice.
And I think song hubs is a very important thing for New Zealand writers. When we went over to LA, everyone we wrote with